What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the gun room. And today I want to ask you guys a question. What guns do you regret getting rid of? And what were the circumstances of why you had to get rid of them? Because there's a lot of reasons people get rid of guns. You get bored. Sometimes you clean your collection out. I know I'm guilty of that. I'm going to tell you some of the guns just off the top of my head that I really regret getting rid of and I wish I would have kept. And some of them aren't that great of a gun, but just for the simple fact of the collector value now is insane on some of them. And others I really wish I would have kept, and now they've gotten to the point where they're kind of cost prohibitive to replace, or I just don't think they're worth that much money and I don't want to spend it on there. Although there's some that it's a stupid amount of money, and I'll let you know it's my top one. Stupid amount of money, but kind of considering it. But let's go over, put down in the description below, what gun do you regret selling the most, and why did you have to sell it? A lot of times I know it's for family reasons or financial reasons. You're broke and you need to sell off a lot of stuff. But sometimes, I know I've done it several times in my life, I get a huge collection and all of a sudden I'm like, it's too much. Let's axe half of it and get it away. And then I end up replacing it with something else anyway. So I'm going to try to stop doing that from now on. I'm 50 now, and God willing, I'll make it to at least the life expectancy, which is another 25, 26 years. So I think I want to hold on to stuff so that I don't have regrets anymore. But let me go over some of the guns I really regret getting rid of. One was, if you're familiar with this channel at all, I'm a huge 1911 fan. I had a Colt 1911, a real 1911 made in 1918. Almost all the finish was gone off of it. It just had a ton of patina on it, character. I used to shoot that gun in 3-gun competitions. I used to run a World War II in 3-gun competition. I used to run a World War II kit. I had an M1 Grand that I would run at one time. I had 4. I'll talk about those. I got rid of all those and then ended up getting a hell of a deal from a buddy on one. But those have gotten ridiculous too. But anyway, there was a 3-gun match. I forget where it was, somewhere in Virginia, down by Green Top and stuff. They used to run. I would run one of my M1 Grands. I had a Norinco 19. Was it a trench gun? 1897 trench gun copy there, which I found out they stopped importing those, and those things are ridiculously priced. I shouldn't have got rid of that. It was cool, man, and it worked perfect. 1897 trench gun copy made by Norinco, because the real one was cost prohibitive at that time, and the metallurgy wasn't that great, and I just didn't come across a chance to buy one. So I bought the copy at the time for like $250, $300, and now I hear they're insane. And at the time, even when I went to pick it up, a guy was like, "Hey, I hear a lot of collectors are buying those because the parts fit perfectly. They're perfect replacement parts for the real guns." And then I used to run that 1918, 1911, and it was fantastic. It was a real 1911. Some of the parts had been replaced. Like I know the firing pin stop had been replaced. I'm not sure the barrel link, one of the two, had been replaced. It probably had worn out. I mean, at that point in time, the gun was almost 100 years old, so it had definitely had some life on it. But it was fantastic, and I ended up getting rid of that. There was a point in time where I had a big World War II collection. I had a 03 Springfield. Shouldn't have got rid of that. I had 4 M1 Grands, a Winchester, 2 Springfield Armories. Was the other one a Harrington Richardson or International Harvester? I'm not sure. It was one of those. I had 4 of those. Are you ready for this? I had a Rock-Ola carbine. A Rock-Ola M1 carbine I got rid of. I should have kept that, man. I got rid of that 1918, that 1911 made in 1918. I got rid of that trench gun. I went to the more modern stuff. I sold a bunch of guns and got into motorcycles. crashed those, jacked myself up, stopped riding motorcycles, got back into guns, so, but yeah, there was the M1 Grands I got rid of, the Rockola carbine, I should have kept that. I had a machine gun. I had a Cobra M11 with a suppressor. I sold that stuff to buy motorcycles, man, that I used to ride on the track. And I regret selling that stuff. I had the FS 2000 Tactical Tuna. I love that gun. Oh, I love that gun. I know it gets a lot of hate nowadays, but it was a cool gun, man. And now they stopped importing them and they're worth ridiculous. I don't want to pay that much money to replace it. I really don't. I would like one. I would like to buy another one. But I think at the time when they first came out, I want to say I paid like $1,600 for it. And that was, God, years and years and years ago when they were first coming into the country. And now they're ridiculously priced. I had gosh, I can't even remember all the cool stuff I had that I got rid of that I wish I hadn't. But that's just an example of some of the stuff that, and I know a lot of you guys out there have gone through the same stuff. You're like, oh, and it's even worse when you have like family heirlooms that end up being worth like a lot of money. It hurts if it's a family heirloom, but it's a lower price gun. It still hurts. But if it's a family heirloom and you're like, I'm dead broke, I got bills to pay, I got sick kids, whatever it is, the gun's got to go. And if it's like some fantastic old Colt, yeah, you might get a lot of money, which is cool for you to help you out at the time. But I know it's got to break some folks' hearts, man, because I've done that before. I've sold guns to pay bills and stuff like that. There you go. I had, this one wasn't to pay bills, but I just wanted to move on to other stuff. I had a Bushmaster. What was the one that was supposed to be the Masada or yeah, I'm having a brain fart. Ben Remington bought Bushmaster, and Bushmaster was putting them out, and it was competing with the Scar. Why am I having? Let me know down below. I still have my Scar, so that is one I kept. I'm glad I kept that one. I have a Arsenal AK. It's a SLG 31 Legion model, I think it is, which I paid like $900 for. I showed in another video where I talk about the price, some of the guns and how I approach collecting. That one, luckily, I held on to, and I looked on Gunbroker. They were like ACR. That's what it was called, ACR. ACR. The Bushmaster ACR, I had one of those. One of the very early ones when they first came out. I snapped one up, same thing with the Scar, and I ended up getting rid of it. But back to the AK. I think I paid like $900 for that. I went on Gunbroker. They're over like $3,000 now, and mine's in great shape. So that's one I won. And then, sorry about that. My kid knocked on the door. He had to give me some. Oh, you can probably see it right there. Big old tub of the mini Reese's. Like my fat ass needs any more mini Reese's, right? But where was the AK, the Arsenal? I won on that one. God, I don't even. There was so many guns. One of the wins I regret getting rid of my Glock 37 and 45 Gap, because again, if you're familiar with the channel, I like weird, odd calibers and stuff like that. And I decided I want another one, and sure enough, Glock was still making them, and I found one at Bud's and bought it, and it was like $500. So that wasn't too bad to replace it, because that's about the same price they were back in the day. So that one, I did get a new one of those. Finish is a little bit different. I think it was better back in the day. But so I was able to get one of those. But there's just a lot of rifles rifles and guns in general, I end up regretting getting rid of. But the top, I'd have to say, the top one, and I'm even just searching through my old ass mind, trying to remember some of the cool stuff that I had. M1A, I had an M1A I got rid of. I kind of wish I would have kept that. I really do. But I took some of that money, replaced it, and bought my Accuracy International AT. So, there's there's a benefit right there. But the one gun that I absolutely regret getting rid of the most, and it has become ridiculous to replace, but I'm still kind of considering it, is the HK-P7. I actually owned 2 P7s back in the day. I owned one, got rid of it. It was a, I forget what, like an Arsenal refurbished or whatever, because they milled just like a little half an inch square on the side of the slide to show that it was like a factory remill or whatever. But it shot great. Got rid of that one, and then I got another, or maybe I got the other one first, got rid of it, and then I got that one. But I've owned 2 P7 M8s in my life, and God, they're fantastic. I love them. And so I said to myself, when we moved out here, I said to myself, I want to look into getting another one of those. And oh boy, I think back in the day I paid like $1,000 for my, right around $1,000 for each of my P7s, and now they're up like 6,000. I mean, if you want to find like a boo-boo one, you might be able to get it for 45,500, you know, 4,500, 5,000. But if you want a nice one with a couple of magazines and stuff like that, it's like $6,000. $6,000. Is that gun worth $6,000? Hell no, it's not worth $6,000. Am I still considering getting one? Hell yes, I am, because in another 10, 20 years, it'll be worth $12,000, you know, because they're not bringing any more of them in because HK hates you. But that for me, I'd have to say, out of all the guns I mentioned, including the machine gun and the suppressor and the tactical tuna FN, I really did like that rifle. I had a Steyr, an AUG. I wish I wouldn't have got that. No, it wasn't the AUG. If you guys remember out there, it was the Microtech copy of one, the Microtech 556 or something like that. Microtech made them for a while. I kind of wish I kept that one. That was a cool gun, though. That was a cool gun. But out of all of them, the one that I wish I would have kept the most was that P7 M8. Just because now you can do so much more with $6,000 and get so many more guns and ammo and whatever. But I still really want one because they are still super cool. So there it is, guys. My biggest regret, the gun I regret the most getting rid of was my HK-P7 M8. Let me know down in the comments below which one you regret getting rid of the most, because I know everybody's done it. If you've been in the gun game, in the gun collecting game for even a few years, I'm sure you've gotten rid of something you're like, damn it, I wish I would have kept it. Let me know down below what it is. If you got a cool story about it or why you had to get rid of it, let me know that too. All right, so thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.